What is up, YouTube? My name is Mario, aka the Loot Box Hero. Check out the second channel, because the second channel is popping, aka the Real Super Mario, aka America's Neto Yo Nigga. Check out the previous episode for that reference, aka YouTube's greatest fat man here, bringing you another video. Alright, so we got another Pokemon Legends ZA and assorted news video. Alright, so we have some pretty interesting stuff for you today. We have some Switch 2 news / information. We got a Switch 2 leak coming from 4chan, so get your salt ready. We also have Riddler Q talking about Pokemon Legends ZA and possibly a different Pokemon project that's coming up as well as the massive news coming out of China that China is looking to ban Nintendo Switch Online. So we're going to check all of that out and more today. So of course, you want to continue videos like this from me. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button, do all that good stuff that YouTube requires you to do to continue getting videos from me. Follow me on twitter.com/RSMario128. Like my video tweet, share my video tweet. Now I will shout you out at this portion of the video. Let's get on into it. So, the Nintendo Switch eShop and all other network services are being closed down in China in 2026. On March 31st, 2026, the Chinese Nintendo eShop will stop selling games and other software. After this date, all software, including paid and free titles, will no longer be available to purchase or claim. On May 15th, 2026, players will no longer be able to download titles or redeem codes. DLC will also become unavailable at this time. In China, the Nintendo Switch is sold in collaboration with Tencent, the Chinese tech giant that owns dozens of developers and other tech firms. When the Nintendo Switch first launched in China in 2020, it released with just one first-party game, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. In years since the release, older Nintendo Switch titles have been localized for the Chinese market. From November 27, 2024 until March 31st, 2026, players who own a Chinese Nintendo Switch that have an active WeChat account associated with it will receive up to 4 Switch games for free. The games they choose can the games players can choose from are, and then of course here's the list of games. So not bad. It could be a little bit better, but it's not bad though. You know, even though I don't see Smash on here, so you can't even get a free copy of Smash Brothers. So what's going on is essentially the CCP, the people who funded the Game Awards nominated Black Myth Wukong, and I made a video about that on the second channel. They are basically going to ban online access for Nintendo consoles in China. Now, we don't exactly know the reason why they're doing this, but this has actually happened before. All right, if you remember, a couple years ago or maybe last year, it was NetEase. NetEase and Blizzard had a big blow up, and NetEase basically banned Blizzard from China, and they destroyed the Blizzard offices, and it was crazy, And of course, right around that time, NetEase also kind of, was developing Marvel Rivals, which is basically Overwatch with a Marvel, paint job on it. So you see what's going on there. But yeah, essentially what it is most tech companies have to work with a Chinese tech company in order to sell products in China. So that could be NetEase, that could be Tencent, that could be any other Chinese big tech firm, because the government has direct influence over those companies. So if you have to work with those companies, then technically you have to work with the government in order to sell things in China. And now the government and the company have unilateral powers when it comes to making deals and asking for money and things like that from the companies that have to work with them. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tencent, wanted a bigger cut of, say, the sales from online purchases on Nintendo consoles. Nintendo said no, and thus they decided to shut down these Nintendo services. If you don't want to give us more money, if you don't want to let us extort you, then you can't provide your services to your customers in China. You know, now of course another thing is maybe there's going to be a big change to Nintendo Switch Online, because we do know by 2026 the Switch 2 will be out. So maybe a new Nintendo Switch Online will replace that. You know, and maybe Nintendo is going to do a different deal. You know, maybe they have to do a new deal for this new service. Or maybe Nintendo will be switching companies. You know, maybe Nintendo is not going to work with Tencent anymore. Maybe they're going to work with NetEase. That's a possibility. You know, even though after the NetEase Blizzard situation, I wouldn't want to mess with them. But, yeah, so it looks like China is just going to be China. You know. Riddler Q, he said, well, 2025 is a Kaku year all around. You would also know something about the Visa stuff on 2/27/25. Looking forward to it now. So, basically he's saying that 2025 is going to be the big year for Ikaku. You know, most of the marketing and stuff that they have planned for the game is going to be in 2025. So from previous Riddler Q leaks, we know that the Terra leak kind of stopped some of the marketing motion for Legends ZA. We were supposed to get a trailer this year. It's not going to be until next year. Unless they decide to do something at the Game Awards, which I kind of think they're going to do something different at the Game Awards, but it's possible. Then maybe, but more than likely we're looking at Pokemon Day as far as when we get something on Legends ZA. As far as the Visa stuff, he continues. He says, well, would/might not quite sure of the announcement date. So then Wildcat25 comes in and says, not sure the announcement date implies you're referring to a different feature game/DLC entirely. Maybe something that lets you travel to different regions. Early 30th anniversary present, maybe. If so, this better be running on Switch 2, lol. So then he Q responds and he says, yup, all new Visa getting thing is on the way. So this could be huge. Now this could be when he says Visa, he basically is talking about travel. So when you travel to different places, you have to get like a passport. If you're going to stay there for any length of time, you need a visa. All right, so basically, you know, something that says you are a legal temporary immigrant. You know what I'm saying? You're not like undocumented. You know what I'm saying? And in some countries, not necessarily America, you know, being undocumented is a very bad thing. You will get deported expeditiously. But yeah. So maybe this means that we're gonna have a feature or a DLC or something that takes us to a different region. To me, that kind of hints at, DLC for Scarlet and Violet. You know, and again, I've been saying this before, that there's a possibility that there's one last bit of DLC for Scarlet and Violet. The Terra leaker said that he didn't want to leak the source code for Scarlet and Violet because there was more content on the way. Then we got the Black Rayquaza stuff. You know, I'm thinking that that's possibly like another DLC here. And we know each of the DLCs for Scarlet and Violet have taken us to different regions. So the first DLC took us to Johto. Alright, the second DLC took us to Unova. You know what I'm saying? Indigo Disc was in Unova. So yeah, maybe the third DLC takes us somewhere else. So I mean, I'm just saying. Alright, and again, this could be something else completely. This could be, you know, referencing like some kind of smaller project. This could be referencing Generation 5 remakes for all we know. But I'm just putting it out there, all right, you know. So the next story we have is I don't know what it is with Niantic, bro. Niantic seems to be in like a whole parking lot of like rakes right now, bro. And if you know what I mean, you get it, you know. Stuff keeps happening to Pokemon Go, alright? First, it was the whole thing with the weird character models, where the character models, like they did an update to the character models, and all the character models look weird. and none of the clothes would work, and they all look kind of like androgynous or whatever. Now, it seems as Pokemon Go was using its location data to create like a AI like database. So it says Pokemon Go developer is using data collected by players to train an AI to essentially be able to auto-complete real-world locations with only a limited amount of information. So they was using your data, because I think now I haven't played Pokemon Go in a long time, but I think like like when you fought a gym, sometimes you could like record a little bit like a panorama or something of where you are to like show that you actually went to the event or the gym or whatever. And they were using that data to create like an AI database essentially of like location data. And so now they've been caught. Now, of course, people are angry about this because people are very sensitive about their data nowadays. Personally, I think this was probably in the terms of service. People don't read terms of service anymore. This was probably in the terms of service, more than likely, that they could do this. So, it is what it is. Do I like it? No, but it's in the TOS, so it is what it is, man. So we have Light, and Light says, seems Grand Oak will leave us in Pokemon Home for Switch 2, and someone will replace him. Also, his new character will be a hint for the next Pokemon game after Gaia and the DLCs. This information is from the same source that leaked the Switch model. It leaked Mario and Luigi Brothership. This time, take this with a massive grain of salt, because this will be the first Pokemon information about a game after Gaia. So yeah, huge grain of salt with this one. All right, because they're talking about post Generation 10. So Grand Oak is like this weird Professor Oak with like long hair that was in Pokemon Home, and he's gonna leave, and a new character comes in that's gonna be a reference to Generation 11 or maybe like Generation 2, some sort of Generation 2 project, because people have talked about Gen 2 projects for a while. You know what I'm saying? Umino Tommy on Twitter talked about a lot of Generation 2 prospects as far as future projects. Maybe they could do something like that. Maybe we could have a Grand Elm to replace Grand Oak. But yeah, so this is actually pretty interesting news that we're getting more information about what's happening after Gaia, Generation 10. Now, the thing is, this was not part of the Terra leak, so the Terra leaker didn't mention anything about this, so take it with a grain of salt. Alright, so we move away from the Pokemon news and we go to the world of anime. So we have Anime Sumi. It says that Star Wars Vision Season 3 has been announced to be in production. The following animation studios are involved. So we have, looks like David Productions, so the guys who did JoJo's. We have Kamikaze Doga. We have Kinema Citrus. So they did one of the original Visions shorts. Polygon Pictures, my boys at Polygon Pictures. I love Polygon Pictures. Ever since Aijin, alright, I've been a fan of Polygon Pictures. So, you know, I'm kind of hyped for that one. Production IG always does good work. Like, they did probably one of the best Star Wars Visions, episodes. And I can't remember the name of the one, but it had like one of the best fights in it, though. You know, I don't know who Q is of the Q studio. It's like I can't really see. It's like the picture's too small to see what the text is under the Q, but Q, you know, hopefully it's not QAnon. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a anti-vax Star Wars short, you know. It says Trigger Studios, Trigger, they also did one last time, and Wit Studios. So that's probably the most exciting announcement, is that Wit is going to be doing a Star Wars project. I don't think Wit has ever been involved with Star Wars Visions. I don't think they were involved in Season 1. And they definitely weren't involved in Season 2 because there was like no anime studios at all. It was just a bunch of like random animation studios from all over the world. So with studios plus Star Wars, sign me up. I'm all for that, baby. I think Star Wars Visions is some of the best Star Wars that Disney has been making, outside of like the Clone Wars stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or the Mandalorian. You know, I think Visions has been like peak Star Wars. I think it's been an amazing idea for them to introduce Star Wars to the anime community, since most of them actually watch Star Wars anyway. You know, so I think this is an amazing idea. What they should be doing is they should be doing Star Wars What If. All right. They're ending Marvel What If. They should be doing Star Wars What If. All right. What if, you know, what if Yoda killed Palpatine? You know what I'm saying? What if Anakin beat Obi-Wan? You know, what if Qui-Gon Jinn never died and he was able to train Anakin? You know, what if Mace Windu trained Anakin? What if Windu killed Palpatine and Anakin didn't turn? You know, that kind of stuff, that's peak storytelling right there. All right, make What If Star Wars. All right, come on now. All right, so we move on to some Sony news. So we have Stealth. He says, according to Bloomberg, Sony is working on a handheld prototype that will be able to play PS5 games. It's years off and might not come to market, but it's something that Sony is investigating. Sounds closer to a Steam Deck than the next Portal iteration. So, if you don't know, PlayStation Portal is like a mobile gaming cloud device type of deal that allows you to play PS5 games away from the PS5. I've heard that the distance is actually pretty long. So I heard you can actually just travel places and play your PS5. I don't know if that's true or not because I don't own a PS5 or a Portal, so it is what it is. Yeah, I think this is a kind of a good idea on Sony's part. Having a hybrid console, you know, that's like a companion with your main console that doesn't replace your main console is a good thing. Especially since, you know, Sony's big thing is selling their console. Unlike Xbox, which basically jettisoned their console into obscurity, because why would you buy an Xbox where you can just get Game Pass on PC and just play the games that way? It's like no reason to buy an Xbox. I'm gonna be honest with you. But yeah, doing this to compete with Nintendo would not be a bad thing. The thing is it gonna be a good price? Because Sony likes to make high-end tech. And I mean, you know, charging somebody $500-$600 for a handheld, that's gonna be crazy work, man. Unless your name is Nintendo. Now, if the Switch 2 comes out to like $400 or $500, okay, because you know you're getting that. That's the whole package. All right. If Sony comes out with a handheld that's $500-$600 plus the $750 for the PlayStation Pro. PS5 Pro, that's crazy. You're going to have to spend a G to get the whole set. That's crazy. That is super crazy. So, more on the Switch 2. We have Stealth. According to a new rumor, Nintendo... Really? Like, is it that important? Is somebody dying? Like, sirens and stuff? Like, dang. It better be a fire somewhere. Like, So, according to the rumor, Nintendo is potentially preparing up to 7 million Switch 2 units to avoid any shortages at launch. This is 2.5 times the amount of Switches that were available at launch. So, this is pretty good. All right. This helps to stop shortages at launch. The big thing is this could help stop scalpers. Because if there's enough to go around, you know, the scalpers can't buy them all. You know what I'm saying? You know, the thing is the retailers. The retailers are the problems when it comes to scalpers. All right? Because Nintendo can have 7 million Switches. All right? If the retailers don't limit how many Switches you can buy at one time, or limit how many Switches they can send to one address or whatever, then it's pointless. Because the scalpers will just go to each store and buy up the entire stock and then sell them suckers, you know, at a 50% markup on eBay. So, you know, it is what it is. But this is actually pretty good though. So more on the Switch 2, we have Stephen Georg. I don't know this person. So this person is a big journalist, content creator. He says, I just got an email about an upcoming game that includes the line rolling out Q1 2025 on Steam, Xbox One, Series XS, PS5, and Nintendo Switch is with an ES. The Switch 2 is right around the corner, man. Very curious when Nintendo will tell us about it. So basically, he's saying that he got some press release or press information that a game was coming out on both Switches 2025 January. So more on this. It says taking to social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter, YouTuber, Twitch streamer Stephen Georg revealed recently that he got an email talking about rolling out. We already read that part. The tease and the implications are pretty obvious that Switch 2 is releasing sometime in Q1 2025, which could mean anytime between January 1st and March 31st, which I think a lot of people kind of saw this, because the Switch 1, if I'm not mistaken, released in March. Because this was right around, it was right around March, February. Because it came out around the same time as Horizon, and that was also when Breath of the Wild came out. Because I remember Breath of the Wild just ate Horizon's lunch. It just took all the wind out of Horizon's wings when it dropped. And they dropped about the same week. So, and of course, Breath of the Wild was a launch game for the Switch. So, yeah, I think it was March, though. If this is true, it means that Nintendo Switch is going to be revealed very soon. To this end, it would be to be revealed before the end of the year, possibly at the Game Awards on December 12th, or in a standalone event before it. After December 12th, will be cutting too close to the holiday season, which is where much of Nintendo and the gaming industry will be on break. Unfortunately, there is a possibility that Georg is simply making this up, but it's unclear if the popular streamer and YouTuber would risk his reputation in the process. It is also possible that the PR person who sent the email in question is just speculating. Yeah, what I'm saying? Dude could be lying. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't know who this person is, but I guess they have a pretty big following and credibility, so they wouldn't want to blow their credibility. But we've seen people lie about things like this before. All right, it's kind of one of those things that happens in the Switch 2 news community. People, that they'll take something with like an ounce of information and they'll blow it up to overhype it to get all the clicks and the updoots and the views and the subs. I don't personally like to do that because it kind of burns out people on the overhype, but it is what it is. Maybe we're going to be getting Switch 2 news at the Game Awards. That would be cool. I'd take it. You know what I'm saying? All right, so then we get to the final story of the day. So we get to the Nintendo Switch 4chan text dump. Now, what we do for 4chan text dumps here. You have to take it with a grain of salt because it is a rumor. So luckily, today's sponsor is salt, now in jalapeno flavor. When you want to dabble in unsubstantiated rumors from the bowels of the internet without being too spicy for some reason, because it's not really that spicy, it's more flavored like jalapeno than anything. Salt. All right, take it with a grain of salt so you won't be salty. That's right, take it with a grain of salt so you won't be salty. So, all right, let's get on into this. He said it's called Nintendo Switch 2, which, that's possible. That's kind of easy, but I think Nintendo would go with something else, but it's possible. He said it's apparently a 3-minute video showing off the new system. The first game you will see for the system is a brand new Mario Kart game. The game has characters from Zelda, F-Zero, Star Fox, and Pikmin as new racers. It has 8-player split screen mode. It has a new look at Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, showing off playable Psylux and a multiplayer mode. So I guess he's talking about the trailer for the Switch 2. Maybe that's what it is, you know. So he's saying that it's gonna have this new like multi-franchise Mario Kart game, which actually is an amazing idea. Honestly, that's a golden idea. Like take the Smash Brothers concept and put it in a Mario Kart game. All right, you know what I'm saying? You got like Fire Emblem people in there. I can't wait for all the Mario Kart fans to get mad because there's like 20 Fire Emblem characters, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, look at all these anime swordsmen in my kart game." You know, so a new look at Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, showing off playable Psylux and a multiplayer mode. A remake of Kid Icarus Uprising, which that could be interesting because we know that Sakurai is working on a game, so it's probably gonna be for Switch too. A lot of people think that there's some kind of Smash Brothers port. Hope, you know, personally, I think it's one too, but it could be a remake or a sequel to Kid Icarus Uprising. There's tiny peeks at a new 3D Mario and Animal Crossing. Shows a bunch of third-party games, including Monster Hunter Wilds and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Bro, that would be crazy. All right, that would be super crazy. Now, Monster Hunter Wilds is possible for Switch 2, but we don't know how powerful Switch 2 is. Monster Hunter Wilds is pretty intensive. Like, have you seen the videos of people trying to run that gen on the PC and they getting like weird monstrosities? Like, it's pretty intensive. So, I mean, maybe the DLS Black Magic in the Switch 2 will be able to make Monster Hunter Wilds work, but if that's the case, that's gonna be a banger. That's gonna sell millions. And of course, Sparking Zero will be good too. You know what I'm saying? Personally, I'm more of a Fighter Z fan myself, but Sparking Zero will be good too. System releases in May, sometime around Golden Week in Japan, same month as Super Nintendo World opening in Orlando. Reveal will be in January, February. So that's about what we've been hearing from the rumors that the reveal is going to be first quarter 2025. But the May release seems a little bit late. A lot of people think it's probably going to release like March, like the original Switch did. So May seems a little late, but I wouldn't mind though. You know what I'm saying? Especially with some of the launch titles being like maybe, you know, Legends ZA or some other titles probably need some time to cook. So I'm fine with it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this seems relatively credible. It does seem a little fan fiction-y with, you know, Monster Hunter Wilds and the Mario Kart Smash Brothers-ish game. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. And of course, like, comment, subscribe, and as always, people, keep it real. Drop a comment so we can do a commentary next time.